This video is going to show you how to use the solver tool working the same problem, case problem 1 from tutorial 10. So to begin, we go to the analysis group on the data tab and choose solver. If you don't have the solver option available from the analysis tab, watch the video available in the course that shows you how to install this option. When our solver parameters dialog box comes up, we're going to choose our values, and our problem asks us to use the solver to create a model that minimizes the value in cell L9 by changing the values in the range F5 to F8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my set objective value, which is the cell I want to change, which is L9. And then I want to change it to a value of 0. We'll try that first. And then we want to do this by changing the variables in cell F5 through F8. In addition, it says that we need to be subject to the constraint that all of the values in the range F5 through F8 must be integers. So to do this, we click on Add under the Constraints area. And then we choose the references, again F5 through F8, and then our constraint is that they need to be integers, so we choose it from the drop down list here, and then click Add. We're done with this, so we can click on Cancel, and you'll see that our constraint now appears in the Constraints dialog box here. We can go ahead now and click on Solve and see what happens. We see that our solver ran and it came up with a solution of 3.64 as close to 0 as it could get. If we're satisfied with that, we can press OK. If we want to change it, we can click on the Return to Solver Parameters dialog box and then press OK. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose, instead of trying to reach a value of 0, I'm just going to choose to produce the minimum value. I'm going to keep my variable cell changes the same and my constraints the same, and then choose Solve. We'll see that when the scenario runs, it comes back with the same resulting difference value of 3.64. So we're going to uncheck the Return to the Parameters box and press OK. So we now see that our values in our lower range have changed to some kind of weird, funky values that are not whole numbers. They are integers, but they're not whole numbers. If we change these lower values, we might be able to reduce our difference even more. So I'm going to round these values out and see what I can get. So if I round this to 50, this one to 72, and this one to 90, my values actually increase. So I can adjust this a little bit more. If I change this one to 52 and to match this 72 here, you'll see that I get down to 2.73, and this is actually the lowest that I can get in this option. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add this to my scenarios that I produced earlier. So I'm going to go back to my what if analysis and my scenario manager, and I'm going to add a new scenario, and I'm going to call this one optimal grading curve. Again, all of my data is going to remain the same. And you can see that it puts in, again, the values that are already existing in the range that I selected. So I can press OK. And of course, if I click on Show, nothing's going to change. It's the same as what's already existing there. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a new summary report. I want all of the same values that I had on my previous one, and press OK. You'll see now that in addition to my other summaries, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I now also have an optimal range here, which shows me that what the values should be in the grading scheme to produce the closest or the smallest difference, total difference.